Welcome, you guys. It is time. It is Monday night. This is Black Code Red. You're on the line with the Sojourner and one and only Christian Whitfield at Brooklyn NG Fellas. What's going on, Christian?
What's going on, bro? It's Brooklyn G Fellas at Brooklyn G Fellas. You be like Brooklyn NG Fellas. Ain't no pause there, cousin.
Oh, my bad. Everybody get it right. Say it one more time, everybody. There.
Brooklyn G Fellas.
What's the G stand for?
Goodfellas. I used to do music, and Goodfellas Entertainment was my record label.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Brooklyn was my name. That's what I went by.
Okay.
Yeah.
You from Brooklyn?
Born and raised, Brownsville.
Okay, just making sure.
Don't get no more street than that.
Oh, for real? It's like that up there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
People talk about the hood and the ghetto, but they don't get no more hood and ghetto than Brownsville. Brooklyn.
Is that why you got out of there?
I'm trying to tell you.
You be like, yeah, I'm from there. I live.
Listen,
I'm glad I got up out of there.
You got to go on to bigger and better things, and
I ain't mad
it
at
is
you.
what it is.
That's funny. How many of your friends or people you grew up with are still there doing the same hood stuff that you like? You should not be doing
I think a majority of them are mature. A lot, actually, you know what? A lot of them have actually moved to Florida.
Oh, so that's why crime rate's going up.
Yeah,
that's why crime rate's going up, huh? Y'all hood joking from up there to come down here.
Yo, make sure y'all, when y'all see him in the street, y'all swing on him.
Oh, so they are hood. You see what I'm saying?
Make sure y'all swing on them.
You just proved my point.
We got some my Brownsville, Brooklyn folks here in Jacksonville, so I'm gonna put them on you.
Okay, well, don't let Christian get y'all behind whipped now. Don't let Christian. Don't let this little button-up shirt fool you now. Don't let that fool you. All right.
About that life.
That's all right. But I'm just saying.
Anyway,
we got a show to do.
Yeah, we do got a show to do.
Yeah, we got a couple of things to talk about.
We talk too much anyway. We talk a lot. We by ourselves. We good.
Yeah, right. That's all good. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, this is Black Code Red up in this thing. This is episode 3, and the purpose of our show. I'll let Christian tell us. Tell everybody who just might be tuning in for the first time or listen to the show later on. What does Black Code Red mean, Christian?
Well, again, it's about understanding that we've come into a pivotal point in our community. In the Black community, and it is we are at a code red situation where we got to find better ways to deal with the problems that we are facing or have been facing over the course of the last 50, 60, 70 years. So there's a lot of opinions out there. Some of them are warranted. Some of them are unwarranted, and we can do without them. But it really is just about finding solutions to a lot of the issues. Anybody can address a problem. Anybody can come up with a problem, but not a lot of people are willing to actually try some solutions or put forth some solution to make things better. So we are giving you unfiltered Black conservative politics. You may agree with us, you may not agree with us, but we appreciate the conversation. We look forward to the conversation. You may change our mind. We may change your mind, but that's what it's about. It's about having a conversation and actually engaging with people who may disagree with you.
Yeah, definitely. And so we dare to call that baby ugly. That's what we do, right?
Yes, sir.
We dare to call that baby ugly, but you better not call one out ugly. We got something, right? We're gonna be mad at you, right? But that's what we do. We want to bring a different perspective to the forefront. As Christian said, there's a lot of folk there just in the world is being more and more polarized. You either got to like the Democrats or you got to like the Republicans. You can't, if you're a Democrat, you can't like anything the Republicans could come up with. If you're a Republican, you can't like anything the Democrats come up with. They're just trying to draw this line that it's only one way or no other way. But Christian and I, we don't think like that. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad.
Absolutely.
If we're going to help the people, it don't matter who thought of it. If
sure
it's a good idea, let's roll with it. And
let's roll with it.
The funny thing about this, Christian, is that's what they purport to do in the Congress. They claim that everybody's running for Congress or trying to do something. They always talk about, they're going to work across the aisles, or they're going to be able to work with the other folk to get stuff done. But if you look at the voting record, most of the time, these jokers vote straight party line on the issues.
Well, that's a topic we need to definitely talk about one of these days, is bipartisanship. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not really a big fan of bipartisanship.
Okay.
I'll be completely out, but that's a topic. Well, we can dive into that tonight or a little bit later.
We can put on the back because we already got it. I definitely want to get into that.
Yes, sir.
I definitely want to get in there. All right, if you guys are listening to us, if you want to be part of the show, I'm gonna give you you see the call number right there on the right there on your screen. It's 904-515-3731. 904-515-3733, sorry, not 3733, excuse me. 904-515-3733 to be part of the show. And we're also we should be on live on Facebook, a couple pages. If you would share that, please, on your Facebook page to get the word out. And we're on YouTube and Periscope and what else? Twitter, Twitch.
Yeah.
A couple of things.
The whole gamut.
Yeah, the whole gamut. So you can find us out there. And we want you to be part of the show. You can also, if you don't want to talk, if you don't want your voice to be heard, you can send us a message. You can send us a message.
Yeah, chat it out.
And we can just chat it out.
Marcus Hardeman, we appreciate you joining already. We look at that. We got some viewers in already. Y'all go ahead and say what's up to us, and we'll definitely holler back. Our telephone number does work. Last week, one of our listeners, shall remain nameless, was listening on one of those raggedy Android phones, and she claimed she couldn't hear the caller.
Wow.
But we played the video back. The caller was loud and clear. So that individual that was listening on that raggedy Android phone, we team Apple over here. Get your Apple. Upgrade your software.
Okay, now we're not Team Apple over here. Maybe in your household.
And that's the reason why we having these problems.
Yeah, okay. Don't be a hater all your life, Christian. Just saying. Don't be a hater all your life. But anyway.
Call in.
Yeah, call in definitely, because we're going to get down with the show. Before we do anything, though, I want to say I'm disappointed in the Jaguars. We're going to talk about that.
Oh,
I'm not disappointed. I'm very excited about the Jaguars this year. They played against the Tennessee Titans up in Tennessee. It was a tough game. They were behind 14 points and then some. Came back. I didn't get a chance to see the last part of it, but understand they lost with a field goal based on a bad call by the ref. So my Jaguars should have had that game. So in my heart, I'm counting it up as a win. Hey, Priscilla, and I'm counting the Jaguars as a win. To me, the Jaguars are 2-0. Now, officially, the NFL record, they 1-1. But for me, in my heart, Jags are 2-0. Go Jags, baby, all day, every day. And I want you to talk about your little sorry teams, what else you like, Christian. It don't matter. But go ahead. I know you want to say something about some football.
No, I don't want to say nothing about no football.
You promise?
I promise. My Gators play this week.
So you just said it. You say you don't want to say something.
Not this past weekend. I don't care about this past weekend.
Okay.
I'm a Dolphins fan, and until they start Tua Tagovailoa, I'm not even paying my Dolphins no attention. So
wow,
they are.
Well, that is. Yep, they are awful, and the Jaguars are better. So anyway, let's get on.
They actually play Thursday night here in Jacksonville.
Oh, where?
Yeah, they got the Thursday night game. This coming up Thursday in Jacksonville. Same day the president going to be here.
Jacksonville's going to open up a can of whoop behind.
You tell it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I mean, my team is awful. I mean,
we serving dolphins. Hey, we having dolphin on Thursday night. It's seafood Thursday night. How we serving dolphin, huh?
Let you tell it. You probably will.
Uh-huh.
Let's ride.
Right. Let's ride. The first thing we're going to talk about tonight is going to be some sad news, and that is the death of the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And what we're going to do is we're going to break down the Supreme Court justice. What do they do? Who are they? So it's not just about that she died. And, Christian and I, we're right here, hailing out of Jacksonville, Florida. We don't have the connects to run around to different cities and go and see people and do all that. But what we can do is bring the knowledge that we've amassed over our lifetime and share it with you. So we're not just going to tell you that she died. We want to talk about what the Supreme Court does and how it affects us to show you the importance of the role that she had and the importance of the role that whoever they're going to fill or whatever they fill this role. So that's what we do here. It's not just about giving the news, because you can turn on CNN or Fox, whatever else you listen to, and you can hear that she died. You can hear that she was born in 1933. You can hear she was a Supreme Court justice and she fought for women's rights and those things. But after that, yeah. But after that, so let's get on. Go ahead, Christian.
No, she had a long career. She accomplished a lot. For the things she believed in, what she believed in, and she fought for those things, and she argued those cases, and she was somebody who actually she interpreted the law to the best of her, the Constitution and the law best of her ability. You didn't have to agree with what she believed. I didn't agree with a lot of what she stood for, what she believed on the political aspect, or even some of her rulings. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that she was sufficient for the people who supported her, loved her, who cared about the things that she cared about. And that's really what it comes down to, is fighting for the things that you believe in and not being swayed by people by other people's opinion as to how you should think about things and how you should feel about things. So,
Right.
I certainly give her, her respect as being a pioneer and a trailblazer for not only women, but for, just the courts in general.
Right. So we're just looking at a picture of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. If you didn't know what she looked like, there she was again. She was born in 1933, so she was getting a little long in the tooth. Yeah, and as I said back, that's how it's old folks say, little long in the tooth. Yeah. And that is a blessing because we know a lot of folk don't even make it today. So she was born in 1933, and she, as Christian said, she had a long history and a timeline. Just pulling up the timeline, and you can do this as well. 1959 and 1961, she was a law clerk to a judge of U.S. District Court. She was a research associate, assistant director. She was a professor at Rutgers University School of Law, general counsel for the ACLU, fellow at the Center of Advanced Studies on Behavior Sciences at Stanford, judge of the U.S. Court of Appeals for District of Columbia Circuit, sworn in as Supreme Court Justice when it really gets good, filling a seat held by Justice Byron White. That's what she did in August 10th, 1993. So again, this has been her lifelong career. And of course, right. She have a whole list of decisions that she's helped make. And again, some people, a lot of people agree with, a lot of them don't. But the bottom line is she was an integral part in the development of the society that we live in today, from some issues with issues for fights with Roe versus Wade, from a fight for women's rights. She was definitely a heavyweight in our society, and she's definitely going to be missed. So Absolutely. That's Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So with her passing, we don't want to make light of that, but we do have to push on and talk about the subject that comes up now, which is who's going to fill that next position? Who's going to be the Supreme Court justice, and when should we fill it? So let's talk about it, Christian. What do you think about this? With the Supreme Court justice going, do you think that they should fill the position now or later?
Now. There's no need to wait. There's no need to postpone it till after the election. Like you hear people talking about and crying about, and like literally like crying and having a full blown meltdowns on social media and recording themselves having meltdowns. And you have people threatening violence. Oh my! If Trump fills this seat or McConnell fills this seat, we're going to burn this down and we're going to burn it. That's all you heard all weekend. Burn it down, burn it down, burn it down. And these are like the blue check mark celebrities across the board, just completely lost their doggone mind. The president of the United States submits his recommendation to the Senate. Mm-hmm. The Senate's job is to hear it, vote up or down, yes or no, and that's that. That is it. That's what the Constitution says.
Okay, that's what the Constitution says, but at the same time, the Constitution can be interpreted, and that's part of the the judicial branch.
Nothing in the Constitution that says anything about waiting till after an election. There's nothing in the Constitution. One of the other big things that they were talking about is that one of her dying wishes was that the president would wait until after the election to nominate somebody for the seat.
I don't care.
The Constitution does not give dying wishes.
That's it. I don't care about your dying wish.
That means absolutely nothing.
I'm not to be harsh on it, but you can't change the laws because you have a dying wish. I mean,
absolutely.
What if her dying wish was
what I was just talking about? The job of the president is to nominate a person and send him to the Supreme Court.
Right.
I mean, send him to the Senate for the Senate to vote on it. It doesn't say anywhere inside the Constitution that he has to wait. If there's an election, you have to wait to the following year afterwards.
Right.
Or if you're within the last 50 days, you have to wait till after the election. There's nothing in the Constitution that says that. So the president is in his right to submit someone, and the Senate has a choice: vote it up, vote it down. That's it.
All right. Well, let's break this thing down. Let's break it down then. President does that. This is how it comes. This is what happens, as Christian just said. Let's break down Supreme Court Justice. Supreme Court Justice. First of all, established in Article 3 of the Constitution. Okay, Article 3 of the judicial branch. It states the Supreme Court is the law of the land. All right, so that's just the main thing. Couple of the details, but the bottom line is the law of the land. When the Supreme Court decides something, all the 50 states have to abide by it. All right. Now, with that in mind, the Supreme Court is set up so there are 9 members of the Supreme Court justice. You got 8 associate justices and 1 chief justice. All right. There are an odd number of justices because the founding fathers did not want a tie in a decision. So, of course, if you had 8 or 10 or whatever, any even number, it could be split and nothing would get done. If the Supreme Court cannot come to a conclusion, then whatever the previous, so if the rule, if it comes up from an appellate court saying we can't make a decision in lower courts, it goes to the Supreme Court decides to take it on. If the Supreme Court is a tie, then whatever the previous decision that was made sticks. But that's not how we want to do it, because people need leadership, as we see anywhere in the world. We need leadership and clarity. Clarity. And clarity is not done when people are still going back and forth on it, saying we don't have enough to make a decision. So it's the odd number. So right now we have a vacancy. Now we had 9. Now we have a vacancy. We're down to 8 Supreme Court justices because Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away the other day. So now the hunt is on to find out who is going to be the Supreme Court justice. Not who, but when. Now, here's the flip. Now it gets political, because the Constitution clearly states we need 9. It's understood that we need 9 again because we don't need a tie to anything. We have major decisions need to be made in a country of almost 400 million people. All right. So here we go. The president, as Christian said, nominates the Supreme Court justice. But how the Constitution is set up with the checks and balance system is that the Senate has to approve of this nomination. That keeps the president from having too much power, because the Supreme Court justices serve for life. They don't have to run or rerun. They don't have to do anything. So when you pick a Supreme Court justice, when the president chooses that, he is setting up not only what's happening for this time, but he's setting up his legacy of this philosophy of how this country should run by filling up that Supreme Court with like-minded people. So it's up to the Senate. Hopefully we have a Senate in there, keep him in balance. That will keep him from becoming too powerful. So right now, of course, we have Trump as the president. He is a Republican. He has conservative values, according to him, and a lot of folk. So we would suspect that he's going to nominate a Supreme Court justice with conservative values. Now, What's the problem? Now, what's the problem with that if you're not a conservative, Christian?
What's the problem with that?
Yes.
I don't have a problem.
If you're not a conservative.
If you're not a conservative, then what this is all about, this is about Roe v. Wade.
And balance.
This is about Roe v. Wade. Mm-hmm. It isn't about balance. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend like it's about balance and having an equal people on the bench and having, 4 liberals and 4 Republican conservatives, and then you have that
somebody in the middle
person. You're going to always have an odd number because there's 9 on the court.
Right. Okay. So you don't say balance. You say Roe v. Wade.
The outrage and the freak out about this is about Roe v. Wade.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's about the direction of the country for a lot of people who aren't on the conservative side of life. And the issue that I have with the freak out is what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to? Is he supposed to nominate a Democrat? Is he supposed to nominate a progressive person to the court? No. Is that really what you're asking for?
That's what liberals ask for. That's what liberals ask for.
It doesn't matter who he nominates. There's going to be issues. There's going to be problems because that's not who they want. They don't want any more conservative judges because they don't want to lose. They think that they're going to lose Roe v. Wade. And you've had conservative justice from Gorsuch, from I believe Kavanaugh as well, say that they believe that Roe v. Wade is for the most part settled law, and they have no intentions of trying to overturn it. But if it comes back up before them, it's their job to listen to the arguments for it. Mm-hmm. So as it stands, like Mr. Mike Murdoch says, elections have consequences.
They all do.
And one of the primary problems that the liberals are facing, progressives are facing, is this is Harry Reid's fault. Harry Reid, the Democrat. Mm-hmm. Harry Reid got rid of the nuclear option, or did the nuclear option. So you no longer had the 60 votes. Yep. It's just a majority.
Well, let's break it down. What happened?
And what did McConnell tell him? McConnell told him back then, 2013?
2013.
You are going to
regret this
decision that you are making here today. Maybe sooner rather than later. And here we are sooner. Here we are, 7 years later? We are sooner.
All right, so let's break that down. What Christian was talking about, this is when Justice Scalia died in 2013. Justice Scalia died. abruptly. And some people say he was murdered, but we don't go into a whole nother situation with that. But Justice Scalia was Supreme Court justice. He was a conservative Supreme Court justice. And this is when President Obama was he was the president at that time. Now, President Obama, of course, being a president, was wanting to nominate another Supreme Court justice to take the place. But he was going to nominate someone that thought like him, someone that was liberal, someone that a quote unquote Democrat type mindset, because it just makes sense. That's just part of the game. Now, the Republicans at that time said no. They wanted to wait until after the next election, after Obama was out. They were hoping that we would get a Republican president in office, and he would have the opportunity to nominate the Supreme Court justice. And of course, he would nominate someone that was conservative. So they were taking a chance because they knew if Hillary won, it was out of the picture.
Well,
but
to a certain degree, though, because what you also had going on in that 2016 election was also Senate races. Right. So the Democrats could have won the Senate in 2016.
Yeah, but they were making it. But see, the thing is that the Republicans had nothing to lose by waiting. They had everything to gain by waiting. And the Democrats could lose out because if they didn't have the presidency, then they dang sure couldn't nominate anybody from the get-go. So they wanted to. So the Democrats were rushing to get this. I shouldn't say rushing, but the Democrats are hurrying to get this done because it was more than 100 days before the presidential election.
Yeah, it was a while.
It was more than 100 days.
Yeah.
So it was plenty of time to get that done. But the Republicans were saying, no, we're going to hold out. And everybody that Barack Obama nominated, they were shooting down. All right. At that point in time, before the nuclear option, what Christian was talking about, you had to have 60 votes to get your nomination. All right. The Democrats didn't have that many senators to get 60. So they would need all the Democrats plus some Republicans to go ahead and agree on whatever the Supreme Court nominee that Barack Obama recommended. But they couldn't get it done. So they were at a stalemate, and time went on and on. So there was a nuclear option I can take a look at later on to see when it actually started. But the nuclear option for that was for Harry Reid, who was a president of the Senate at that time, the leader of the Senate, to say, I'm going to change these rules.
Right.
We no longer need 60 votes to get this done. We'll make it a simple majority. 51. There are 100 senators. We need 51 to make this happen. We're going to change the rules of the game in the middle of the game. Now, granted, it was already set before, but he decided to use it. And that's when he got the warning from Mitch McConnell saying, you doing this is going to come back and bite you in the butt. Might be sooner, might be later. But basically what he's saying is, if you use it, we're going to use it too.
Right.
So here we are. He changed the rules. And what happened after he changed the rules?
They lost.
They lost the Senate. They lost the Senate.
They lost the Senate.
Yep.
And Republicans won the Senate via election. And the person, the party who controls the Senate makes the rules, as established by Mr. Harry Reid. So now that the Republicans are in control of the Senate, from 26, they won it again in 20. What was it? 20. When they win it again? 2014, something like that. Something like that. So, but anyway, they maintained it in 2016 and maintained it in 2018. So the people have spoken. The people have spoken and say, we want these people to lead the Senate. If they didn't say that, the Democrats would be in charge of the Senate. And you look at the Supreme Court justices who went through when Republicans were in the minority. There wasn't a lot of pushback against Sotomayor. There wasn't a lot of pushback against Kagan. There was not a lot of pushback. But you look at the conservative justices who have gone recently, like Gorsuch, and they've vilified. They just absolutely vilified my man Kavanaugh.
Oh, man, they destroyed Kavanaugh.
Just absolutely vilified him.
Previous shows I've done, and we did research on that, and we just looked at how they just the Me Too movement,
the most disgusting
created
thing in a while.
People just saying he's guilty. I mean, and it was just absolutely ridiculous how they vilified Kavanaugh. And this is the thing too, man. And just a little side note, I'm really worried about the state of our country when we can create these scenarios and just flat out lie, and people just go with it, like what they did with Kavanaugh. They had Kavanaugh people that were part of. Get my school run. Kavanaugh went to college, and Kavanaugh was not even in his college. He graduated 15, 20 years before these folk were talking about him, and they would tell him they know he was guilty. They went to the same college. They went and interviewed people that went to college 15, 20 years after he left his college. And these folk are saying they know he's guilty. Like, how do you know he's guilty?
How do you know
weren't
he's
even
guilty?
there. You weren't even there. You were like in elementary school when he was there. What are you talking about?
But more important than that, it's the actual senators themselves. Their behavior was what was above board and just absolutely disgusting. From Kamala Harris to Cory Booker to Mazie Hirono to the whole gamut. You name it. Chris Coons, you name it. It wasn't about finding out whether or not this guy was qualified to be a Supreme Court justice. It was about embarrassing him. It was about hating him because he was nominated by President Trump. We hate President Trump. Ergo, you are an extension of that. We hate you as well. That's what that was all about. And you didn't have that. You didn't have that when Sotomayor and Elaine Kagan went up here recently within the last, 20 years? 30 years? 20 years? It was peaceful. Yeah, they got some tough questions, but it was nothing like you've seen over the last two Supreme Court justices that have been put up by this president. And it's only because of him. And it shows that you can't look at an individual and say, hey, what are your qualifications? Why should I nominate you to the Supreme Court? You're looking at the guy who put him up there, and you're seeing him sit in front of you, and you're looking at instead of looking at the person that was nominated, you're sitting there, you're looking at the president, and you're trying to bash the individual because that's the only way you can try to get to the president. That's ridiculous. That is very ridiculous. So I have no issue with the president putting somebody up and Mitch McConnell going ahead and what's it called? Having that vote on the floor.
Right.
Because I think this election is gonna come down to the Supreme Court like it did in 2000. The Supreme Court will have a say in this election. And the last thing you need is to have a 4-4 vote on the Supreme Court. You need to make sure you have, a full body and let them do their job, what they are paid to do, what they were confirmed to do, and what the people expect them to do. That's their job.
Yeah, but that is their job. But let's go back. Let's see what's going on. Because again, right now the Republicans are saying we're going to get this done, but that wasn't the same story that they were saying when the Democrats were in charge. They vowed they weren't even going to listen to anybody what the Republicans were saying. They're not even going to listen to anybody that Barack Obama was nominating. And they gave him a hard time. And they were like, no, we can wait. It's too soon. But now that is Republicans and Donald Trump is the president, Republicans, they're saying, oh, we should go ahead and get this done because after all, that's the job of the president. The president, and as Ruth Bader Ginsburg, we can probably quote we talked about offline, she was quoting the New York Times as saying the president is the president for 4 years, not 3. So just because, as she was talking about Barack Obama, just because he's got a year left, he's his third year in presidency of his last term, it doesn't mean that he's not the president. His power, his authority says he nominates the Supreme Court justice. Do the job. Let the president do his job. And she was saying to the Senate, basically, do your job. Those Republicans, don't stop the process. The Supreme Court needs to be fully staffed as soon as possible, not waiting for some kind of politics because the country needs this.
Right.
That's what she was saying. So here we go. Fast forward to now we're in 2020 and the roles are reversed. Now the Republicans saying, we got to get this done. We got time. But now the Democrats are saying, hold up, we can wait.
And what do you have there? Only thing you have is the battle of hypocrisy.
The battle of hypocrisy. Who can be the biggest hypocrite? But the funny thing is, they're gonna try. They try and cover it up and act like we can't go do the research. People can't go pull it up. Exactly. Each side has got their pundits that's gonna pull up and say, "Well, look what you said. Look what you said." So, and I say this over and over again. That's why I like doing a show like this because we're gonna talk about. We're just gonna tell the truth and talk about it. You like it or not. This is what it is. Each side is basically fighting to cover up their own lies.
Yes.
And we have to be, as the citizens, we have to be strong enough and intelligent enough and have the intestinal fortitude enough to call them out for their crap and let them know, hey, this is not how it works. This is not what we're going to stand for. The problem is we don't let them know what we stand for, and we'll just go with the flow. Because right now we got to have somebody at Supreme Court.
So I think that the Senate, McConnell, he should have brought up Merrick Garland.
Okay.
He should have brought him up for a vote. The President Obama put him up there. He should have given him a hearing. He should have given him an opportunity to be voted up or down. Yes or no? Mm-hmm. That's my personal opinion. A lot of people don't agree with that. Especially on the Republican side, they don't agree with that. McConnell did the right thing. I don't think he did. I think he should have brought up the nominee that Barack Obama submitted. Vote him up or down. If he gets passed, great. If he doesn't get passed, it's still great. Because the job of the president is to nominate. The job of the Senate is to
give a yay or nay, or
confirm or not confirm.
Confirm or deny.
He did not do that, which I believe that he was wrong for not doing that.
Mm-hmm. So, and let's tie this together then. So what the reason why we're talking about this, ladies and gentlemen, is because we want you to understand that when you're voting for president, it's not just the president. Because if the doors come open for Supreme Court justices, you could possibly tip the scales of the Supreme Court one way or the other. Now, if you want to talk about some Supreme Court issues that may affect you, we got the gay marriage situation, gay and transgender rights and all that, Supreme Court issues. We have, against Christian said, Roe v. Wade. If you not understand what that is, that's the abortion rights. That's Supreme Court. Affirmative action. That's Supreme Court. There are a lot of things that go on with the Supreme Court that a lot of people don't know about. Obamacare, that went all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Yes, it did.
So it's not just Supreme Court just doing some things that really don't affect you. When these 9 or 8 we got right now, but when these hopefully 9 people speak, the world listens. And again, it's the same thing with the presidency. I can tell you, and most people in the world can tell you that Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Right. You can go to France, you can go to Germany, you can go to Italy, you can go to a lot of places in Africa, you can go to South America, you can go to Central America, and they'll say Donald Trump is the president. Before then, they could tell you President Barack Obama was president. But you take the average American and you say, who's the leader of Peru? Who's the leader of El Salvador? You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Who's the leader of Honduras? Who's the president of France or Russia? Well, we all know Putin over there, but you know the name things.
Right.
Most folk, we don't, I guess because we get fat Americans, we lazy, which is going to be our downfall if we don't watch ourselves. We don't know what other leaders are doing.
Right.
But other leaders know what we're doing.
They know what
we don't know what the citizens in those other places do, how they live, but they know what we do. They watch our TV. They listen to our music. They love our music. They listen to our music. They love our culture. They buy our products. They try and emulate us because not to be cocky or anything, but I think we're the envy of the world in a whole lot of circumstances.
Right.
But we have to understand. So we are very important, and the message that we send ripples throughout other places. If we don't stand up and be a strong Republican. Not to say Republican, I said a republic. That means a representative government. Other folk will see us as weak and they'll try and attack us, and they're already doing it. That's why Russia has no problem attacking us and messing with our elections. That's why China has no problem doing these things with their hacks and all this, because they don't see us strong enough to fight back. We're in too much debt with them. We in bed with them and everything. So we as the citizens, we got to stand up and do right. So we got to take a look and make sure we understand. When we vote these people in, it's of the utmost importance, especially when we get up on this presidency level. But go ahead, Christian.
So my argument and my problem is like you hear people saying, well, it's going to tip the balance of power. I mean, that lets you know right there that the Supreme Court is
political.
People think people in DC politicians, they think it's an extension of Congress. That's not their job, is to make law. Their job is to interpret the law. That's not the job of the court. It's not to make any laws, just to interpret the laws that are on the books and the law and the issues that come before them to determine whether or not they are just, whether or not they're unjust. That is all. But you have these individuals who believe that the Supreme Court should be making rules, just like your local courts, just like your state courts. Oh, they should be making the laws, and we don't need a legislative body. The legislative body is just there just to write them in the courts. They can do whatever they want to. That's not how it works. We have 3 co-branches of government, co-branches. One is not better than the other. One is not over the other.
Right.
There are checks and balances for a reason.
Each one can shut the other down.
Congress needs to do its job. The courts need to do their jobs, and the courts need to stop trying to make law, which is what they've been doing over the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
It's not the court's job to write laws at all.
Right.
And what Mr. Mike Murdoch said, yeah, we're gonna the head's gonna explode when Trump nominates the first Cuban American female judge from Florida. Yeah, she's one of the Mrs. Lagoa, I think that's her last name. She's one of the nominees that one of the individuals that are on the short list for the Supreme Court, as well as Tom Cotton's on that list, senator from Arkansas, Ted Cruz is on that list. Me, I don't know this Miss Lagoa lady. I don't know the Miss Amy Barrett. I don't know her. I know Senator Cotton. I would prefer Ted Cruz over all of them because I know Ted Cruz is going to go with the Constitution only. Period. Okay. What does the Constitution say?
All right, so he's going to be what you talking about. Ted Cruz was considered more of a strict constitutionalist.
He's a constitutional conservative.
Let me ask you a question.
And I would prefer him than anyone who has an agenda or anyone who's going to be swayed to look at the Constitution as a living, moving, breathing document that you can just change whenever you want to, however you feel like.
Now let's go back then, because again we have these discussions. Didn't the founding fathers create the Constitution to be able to change via the amendment process? Granted, they made it too difficult because you have to have a supermajority to make the change, but they did understand that they were not the end all to be all, and they would possibly need to be changed. Think about it. How many we got? 27, 28 amendments to the Constitution.
Yes,
that means 27, 28 times, 27 times, I think it is, that the Constitution had to be amended. The first 10 amendments is what we really talk about, are the Bill of Rights. So think about this. Let's go historically speaking. The Constitution began when the Constitution was ratified. The first 10 amendments were not on the Constitution. We're talking about the First Amendment. That's the freedom of speech, the freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom to assemble. None of those were even there. The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, was not there.
What's your point?
The Fifth Amendment, I'm saying, is that they knew that there were problems. They knew that they were not necessarily problems, but they knew that they did not have a fully grasp all the possibilities of the needs of a country in order to perpetuate itself. So they created the amendment process. So
what does it take to change the Constitution?
It's an amendment process. It takes a two-thirds majority.
Two-thirds majority of who?
The House and the Senate.
Convention.
Yeah, maybe no question.
The states?
No, not the states.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right. The states. You're right. That's right.
So we have a convention of
states. We have the United States. Yes, indeed.
It takes the states, not some judge who just came from some state who was just elected to say, hey, I think that this part of the Constitution is wrong. So this doesn't mean what it really means. So we're going to change this portion of the Constitution. It's not how it works. It takes the convention of states to actually change the meaning of the Constitution. Now, you can interpret all you want to interpret, right? Mm-hmm. And that's part of their job, is to interpret the law. We get that. People make mistakes. People are human. But you're not going to just change the Constitution because you want to. And that's why I think Ted Cruz would be the perfect candidate, because I know he's going to interpret the Constitution as the Constitution it is. Period. I know, Mr. Omar Silo, I appreciate that. No, two-thirds of the states.
2/3, 75%.
There's a convention of state stuff going on right now. They're trying to get some amendments changed to the Constitution, but like you need that 2/3 to actually change a constitutional amendment.
So 66%. Okay, I'll get my numbers off. I'll get my math.
So not just some judge, not just some judge, right? Not just some individual who decides one day, I don't like what this amendment stands for, so I'm going to say it actually means this, or it should mean that. Not what you think it. What does it say?
Okay. Now, here's a question then. Within those confines of the 2/3 are changing, if those are the rules, then how do we get to the point that where people are doing it for themselves?
Because we don't have constitutional judges. And that's on both sides. That's on both sides of the aisle.
It's not just constitutional judges, but we don't have a Congress that's putting them in check either. Remember the checks and balance, the judicial system, they just cannot make the rules. Remember, they interpret the law. So if they interpret it wrong, then there's a checks and balance that they should be overridden, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's not only is that, but it's
it starts with the individuals whose job it is to interpret it. So if you're starting off wrong by interpreting it wrong based on an agenda that you may have or based on a gut feeling that you think, vice what the actual law is itself, then that's not on the legislative. That's on the individual, and the individual needs to be reined in.
Right.
And a lot of these judgeships, they're lifetime appointments. I'm not a big fan of lifetime appointments for anything. Not even for the Supreme Court.
Why not?
I don't think it should be a lifetime appointment because the country does change. The country goes through waves. And I think having somebody like you look at Mrs. Ginsburg, who she's been sick for a while.
Yeah.
This wasn't something that just snuck up on America, snuck up on her. She's been dealing with an illness. There's been plenty of occasions where she's had to miss court or actually have to do court from a hospital bed. Right. That's unacceptable. And it was primarily because of her age and because of her health conditions. So it was already should have been resigned.
But why didn't she step down herself?
I don't know why.
But because she didn't want to hold on. She didn't want to give the power. Because again,
I don't know. I think if she was going to step down, she should have stepped down there. If they wanted to maintain that seat, they should have. During the 8 years Obama was in office, they should have encouraged her to step down then. Like I said, she ain't just start dealing with these health problems 2 weeks ago.
Also, you had to look at it, and again, I think the politics, you said she should have stepped down. You could argue that point, but if she stepped down, how would you say that to her? You got to come to the back room because you can't tell a woman as accomplished as Ruth Bader Ginsburg, with all the support she has for women's rights and the I guess you want to call it a liberal agenda, if you will, to just step down.
Listen.
That's like just asking, Michael Jordan, just, hey man, you don't shoot so well anymore. You're a little slow on the step. You don't jump as high. Why don't you just sit on the bench? That's a hard. He's got to volunteer to do that.
Listen, like Mr. Omar Silo, he said the Dems asked her to step down, and she said, "No, I believe that. She's a woman with pride. She's a woman who has accomplished a lot." And she was probably like, "Who are y'all to tell me to step down?" Yeah. However, the fact that she did not step down during that time period puts us in the position that we're in now.
Right.
I honestly believe thought that she would maybe, pass away sooner within the last 2 years. She's had a lot of health problems.
Yeah.
A lot of health problems. And, the time just catches up on you where you're unable to, she was fortunate enough to overcome those and extend her life for another few years. But still, had she stepped down during that time period, we wouldn't be having this conversation because Obama would have nominated somebody. Harry Reid would have pushed them through, and we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Maybe, but we would not be having this conversation. But if she'd have stepped down 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it'd have been 2 vacancies on the Supreme Court justice.
How do you figure?
Because Scalia died,
right? But Republicans were already in charge by then.
Oh, you saying step? Okay, I was just saying how far back when she should have stepped down. Right. Okay,
she would have stepped down a few years ago when her health was really getting the best of her.
Under the Trump administration.
Right.
Okay.
She would have stepped down during the Obama administration, which was 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. That last year, we wouldn't be going through this right now.
But the last year was Scalia's issue.
Say what?
But you said if she stepped down under last year under Obama.
She could have still stepped down.
Yeah, but how? Nothing got nominated. Remember, the Republicans still had control. That's why Barack couldn't get his guys in. So we didn't get anybody in until after Trump came in.
Or 2013, like Mr. Silo said, 2013, the Democrats controlled the House. That's where Harry Reid went through the whole process of doing the nuclear option. Why couldn't she step down then? But she didn't step down, so that's really beside the point. I'm just saying we wouldn't be going through a lot of the stuff that we're going through now, which is why I don't like the whole lifetime appointment of being on the bench.
Right.
And that's just me,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I wonder why I guess we can do the research, but I understand the founding fathers, because they you limited the president, but you limit the president to 2 terms, but at the same time, the president terms weren't always limited. They had to do that.
It wasn't, yeah.
Later on, that was an amendment.
FDR did what, 12?
Yeah, he did 12. Yeah. He did 12. They're like, hey, you're too powerful. We need to get some fresh faces in here. But Absolutely. They still but they haven't limited the Senate because Joe Biden's been in 40 plus years.
Well, I mean,
so they haven't limited the Senate or the House. So, I mean, it seems like it's natural that if you're going to go ahead and limit the president, that you would come up. But then again, Congress is one that's making the laws. So maybe that's why they didn't want to limit themselves, because that's a nice fat paycheck. Yes. You got folk coming in broke as I don't know what, and then they leave out and go and start writing books or giving public speeches, and they become multimillionaires. So it's a lucrative business in there. So maybe that's why. But the bottom line is we're gonna bring it back home before we switch over to the next conversation. Is this? We're in the process now. We need to find another Supreme Court justice or replacement. Right. Now, again, I say we need to have one as soon as we get a qualified one, regardless of who's president, regardless of what the political arena is. When we get a qualified one, we need to have an open and honest vote on it. I don't think we're going to have it because I don't think that this country is at that point anymore. I'm really getting to the point that we might be a critical mass. Our republic might be just on its last leg.
Yes, sir.
The way stuff to being polarized. I don't like to say it, but it doesn't mean I don't think it's true.
Because it doesn't matter if he waits to after the election, he gets Trump wins and he gets sworn in January of 2021, and he puts up somebody on January the day after he's inaugurated. It's going to be hell still for the individual who's going to be selected. Doesn't matter when they're selected. I'll go ahead and do it now and get it out the way.
Yeah. Now, Omar, you're right. The D's do have the Senate, and that's why they're holding out. Again, they're saying we can wait until we got the next presidential election because they can put the pressure on. Again, the Democrats are acting like the Republicans did in 2013. They just switched roles, but the Democrats and Republicans will scream that they do the best thing, and the other one's the most terrible party around. The other one is holding back our progress, and every time they're in a situation, they act the exact same way.
Yes, so, and the seat doesn't belong to a party, and I think that's something that's being missed out on by individuals. It doesn't belong to a party. The seat belongs to the people, and the seat should go to an individual who is going to interpret the Constitution the way the Constitution stands today. If you want to change the Constitution, get your states together, get your 2/3 majority states, and change the Constitution. But until that day happens, the way the Constitution is written should be interpreted, nothing more, nothing less.
Okay, well, there it is. Anybody, if you want to call in again, we give a call number. If you want to actually your voice be heard, we got a lot of people chatting with us, and we definitely appreciate that. Call number is 904-515-3733. As I said, 904-515-3733. Again, this is Black Code Red. You're listening. I'm the Sojourner, and you're listening to Christian Whitfield. Get your handle right there one more time before I mess it up.
At Brooklyn G Fellas. You the worst.
At Brooklyn G Fellas. All right. So we wrap that up with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. If you got anything else to say about that, because I'm satisfied. We understand the Supreme Court justice. We understand. We need to watch these guys, and we recommend that you get in contact with your local and your federal and your state politicians to put the pressure on them. You can go to my government. Go to my Florida. If you're right here in Florida.gov, it'll tell you who your representatives are. Each one of those states had that type of website where you type in your address, and it'll tell you who all your representatives are from your city council all the way up to, of course, to the president. So you can find out who they are, put some pressure on them, speak your piece, and not necessarily pressure, but if they're doing something good, give them a call and say, hey, I appreciate what you did on this bill. I promise you, I used to work for the state legislature. I used to work for the city council. When they get these phone calls, it means something to them because they know 99% of the people won't call, but they'll just
call.
So the people that actually call in, they think they're more apt to actually go out and talk to people and are motivated to do something and get a movement going. So if you make the call, make a few calls, they'll hear you. I promise you, they'll hear you. All right?
Yes,
so what's next on the hot plate, Christian?
What are we talking about? Defunding the police chiefs. Some police chiefs. Yeah, let's go there.
Okay, because we can go to DeSantis first, or you want to go to defunding the police?
We go to DeSantis first.
DeSantis, everybody, DeSantis. Who's DeSantis? Help me out.
My screen out.
You talking about this guy?
Yep, that guy there.
That guy right there.
Governor.
That's the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, another Republican. When's the last time we had a Democrat governor?
Charlie Crist?
Yeah, he bounced back and forth, so we don't know whether he was a Democrat Republican.
Yeah,
he was a Republican. I don't know which way Chris was going, depending on what year and what was the situation, but we'll call him Republican. But
that is a good point. I don't even remember the last. That was a while ago.
Yeah,
we had 8 years of Scott, 8 years of Bush. Mm-hmm. Who was before Bush? Lawton Charles. Okay, Mr. Silo said Lawton Charles. There we go. Lawton Charles.
Okay.
It's been a minute.
Wow. Dang.
It's been a minute.
That's a long time. So Florida is clearly a red state when it comes to governors. When it comes to governors,
when it comes to the state house and the state senate too.
Yeah. Now you can, and some people really don't like that. If you're a Democrat, I know you probably don't like that, but I'm gonna say something you might not like again. I don't know if you like it or not, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Stop me if I'm lying. There are enough Democrats to outvote many Republicans in the area. The problem is Democrats don't get out and vote.
That's true.
That's one of the problems. Democrats don't get out and vote, or they remain Democrats, but understand that Republican values are just a little bit better in some kinds. Hence, we have Republican governors for the last, I don't know, three or four of them. So here we are. Our state of Florida is in pretty good shape, except for the coronavirus, which we know just kind of come out of nowhere. But debt-wise, we were in great shape before the coronavirus. Tourism was booming before the coronavirus. Our unemployment rate was excellent before the coronavirus. So we were doing some great things under these Republican governors. We're still able to maintain not having a state tax. That's why people move here. Texas is another one like that, but people move from other states, like liberal run states like New York and California and New Jersey. They come here and retire because, wow, we got great weather. And two, because there's no state tax, which means you can keep more money in your pocket for a while.
Yes, indeed.
And people like not being taxed. People like keeping their own money. What a thought. You work for it. You want to do what you want to do with it. And in Florida, we have, we have better policies toward allowing you to be the person that you want to be and live the way you want to live. You work for it, it's yours. So let's move it on. That's enough little background about the great state of Florida and the governorships we had. Let's talk specifically about the current governor, Ron DeSantis, and what is he doing, Christian Whitfield?
So there was today they actually dropped out this law or this new legislation called Combating Violence, Disorder, and Looting in Law Enforcement Protection Act, which it creates new offenses targeting police violence at protests. It increases penalties and implements other hardline actions. But the part that bothers me is states who are looking to, or cities, who are looking to defund the police will lose all state grants and state aid to that set city.
Ooh, say that one more time.
So if there's a city in Florida that's looking to defund the police, looking to take money from the police, then the state is going to withhold grant money and aid money to that city.
Now,
I'm completely against that.
You're against it?
I am completely against that.
Tell me why.
Here's the reason why, right? What this essentially does is it gives the state power over local governments and controls them in a way that those taxpayer funds that the city is collecting to pay their police departments is now being controlled by the state, essentially. Okay. So if a city wants to say, you know what, we want to take a closer look at the budget, the police budget. We ain't talking about defunding. We want to take a closer look at the police budget. Last year, you asked for $500 million. This year, we may only have $430 million. Some people would consider that defunding. Okay. A lot of silly people would consider that defunding. The same people argue that same thing when it comes to Medicaid and Medicare, and it comes to social programs. That's not defunding. It really isn't defunding. Because just because you get a certain amount of money one year doesn't mean you should get that exact same amount the next year. Right. It's the job of the local municipalities and the local cities to actually look at these budgets, comb through these budgets, and see, hey, where can we make cuts? Where do you not need this money? Where can we move this money to? That should not be something that's being held over their heads by state government.
Right. Or the federal government.
It's government. It's over. Yeah, it's government.
Because Trump is trying to do this as well. He's looking at saying, "Hey, if you defund the police, we're not going to send you these federal funds as well."
Right.
So is that abuse of authority in your opinion?
Well, there's a difference between defunding the police, which what a lot of people are calling for, actual like Minnesota did, like my man said, Mr. Murdoch. They defunded the police. They actually got to a point where they were like, "We're going to have." Social workers, and that's the stupidest idea ever. Defunding the police is a dumb idea. However, we'll take the city of Jacksonville, for example. We have a city budget of $1.3 billion.
Billion, that's with a B, ladies and gentlemen.
The Jacksonville Sheriff Office makes up 40% of that budget. So yes. $485 million last year went to JSO. 400 plus million went to them the year before. 400 plus million went to them the year before that. So over the last 3 years, the Jacksonville Sheriff Office has received $1.2 roughly billion. Crime ain't went down. Where's that money going to? I want to see, where's the money going to? If you got $1.2 billion, roughly $1.2 billion over the last 3 years, and you still have a crime problem, where's the money going to? Don't tell me that the money's to fight crime. Don't tell me that, you're going to lose out. If we don't have this money, we're going to, crime is going to be bad. Hell, crime is already bad.
Right.
We can give you $1.2 billion.
Yeah. But so maybe the argument that crime would be worse. Just think if you didn't give us the $1.2 billion, what would happen then?
But that's just it, though. So you look at the amount of money. So last year's budget, they got $480-some million. They requested another $6 million this year, right? My question is, every family has to budget. Every person has to budget. Why aren't these people budgeting?
Okay, I'll be devil's advocate. I'll play devil's advocate. We'll have
Don't play devil's advocate. It's
no, because I want to hit from, because I've heard this before, and I'm trying to hit you with another perspective. Maybe other people haven't heard it. I don't know, but we'll put it out there and respond to it. You said we got the budget, and why can't you basically play within the realm of your own budget, right? Why can't you do your own budget, right? So
you're supposed to.
You're supposed to. Okay. Well, let's see. I got a budget, but other people aren't really listening to me. My budget is based on this amount of crime. You criminals have not listened to me, and you're getting worse. I'm telling you, we'll get some small numbers. I got $1,000 to spend on crime prevention. I'm going to tell you criminals that all I got $1,000, and for this budget to work, I need you guys to not do any more than that need is required. But the criminals aren't listening. The criminals are going way above. So the criminals are doing $2,000 worth of needs of crime prevention from the sheriff's office. I set a budget for $1,000. So it's not that I want such a big budget to just spend money, but the criminals are doing so much crime that I need more money. I need more manpower. We had all this money to get the body cams, all these other things that are coming up. How do I set a budget and keep the criminals within the confines of that budget to make me look good?
Let me tell you, Mr. Taxpayer Spender, you're a liar.
I'm a liar?
I can tell you to your face.
Go ahead.
You are a liar.
Okay, go ahead.
So the problem with this whole thing is budgeting.
Okay.
Right? So you can't explain to me, you can't tell me that between the city's budget, and don't forget, the police departments also get federal grants.
Right.
State grants.
Right.
So it ain't just the $480-some million coming from the city of Jacksonville. You're also getting state grants. You're also getting federal grants to do some of the other things that they need. Right? Where is the money going? Don't tell me. Show it to me. Break it down to me. Where is the money going? Is it going to police cars? Okay. You damn sure you need no new car every year. Is it going to JSO body cameras to actually maintain the system and actually keep the system up and running? I can dig that. Get your cloud service on. That costs money. I can dig that. Show me how much that costs.
Okay.
Show me how much that costs.
So are you trying to say that there's some funny business going on over there? Like they're just mishandling money?
I think every organization that takes taxpayers' money damn near mishandles the money. Whether it's intentional, whether it's by accident, they mishandle money. But when you're dealing with taxpayers' dollars, there shouldn't be any accidents. There shouldn't be any accidents because you should be more of a steward of the people's money to make sure that you're spending it responsibly. Just the same thing when you look at the teachers union. Do I think the teachers union is taking money and spending it irresponsibly? Absolutely. A lot of conservatives do. A lot of Republicans do. Republicans, they hate every union except for the police union. It's the only union they won't question. Only union when they won't question. They hate every union but the police union. I don't know why that is. They're all have their good and their bad points to it. But we need to reform in the way that our city council members, the way that our state legislatures are looking at these funds. The people need to see an accounting of where this money is going. And not only that, is it effective? Because it doesn't matter if you're putting, if of your 485 million, you're putting 180 million into crime prevention, for example. Just for example, 180 million going to crime prevention. We ain't seeing none results in that here in Jacksonville. Crime that went up every year. Murders that went up every year. You may have some letdowns and you may have some small areas that have seen better and done better. Bravo Zulu, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. Why is that not translating to this area? What does this area need that this area is getting?
But again, what you're saying is the budget, but the budget is presented for the public to take a look at, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so those needs that you're saying aren't there like
no, we're talking about the breakdown once you get the money. We're talking about where's the money going. So like Garrett Dennis, one of the city council member, he's not very well liked by a lot of people in the city council. Not very well liked by a lot of, should I say Republicans? Should I say like that?
He's liked by his constituents. They voted him in, right?
Twice.
Yeah, right.
So he's considered a firebrand. He is a Democrat. We are, if you guys don't live in Jacksonville, we are a Republican city. We have a Republican city council. We have a Republican mayor. We have a Republican sheriff. We are a Republican city. I don't care what the Duval supervisor elections numbers say as far as the Republicans being outnumbered as far as voters are concerned. This is a Republican city. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, he proposed that you got up on the screen there to withhold half of JSO's budget. So they got $486 million budget. What he's proposing is you give them $234 million up front. Yeah. As soon as it's signed, and give the remaining to them over the course of years after they report back saying like where the money is going, and what's being done with the money, how the money is being sent. I don't understand why that's a problem. I really don't.
Now, Garrett Dennis says he's not, and this is not defunding the police. He said he doesn't. It's just called just to defend him. He said, I just want to let everyone know that I do not believe that defunding our police department is the right thing to do. And what they said, according to this article, is the councilman is offering an amendment that would allocate, as you said, $234 million. All right, $234 million.
That's of the 480 something that they get.
Right. And they would get that up front again, as Christian said. Then they would have to come back, show how they spent their money, and then they request and get another portion of it, and then just keep going on to the end of the year. But by the end of the year, they would have all of their money. But the problem is according, well, I'm going to tell you what Dennis said. According to he said it's proposed about one thing and one thing only. It's about accountability. It's about transparency and communication to the city council, according to Dennis. Now, Councilman Matt Carlucci, who's on the council's financial committee, he approved the budget. Is among he's like, we're not doing this. We don't like it the way you have it. We're not going to switch it up. So we're going to have to meet about that. Let's see. Also in this meeting was Neil Jefferson and one of the residents. And he said we need to put this money in other places now. Like we cannot arrest our way, according to Neil Jefferson. He's a citizen. He said we cannot arrest our way out of the problem that we're seeing in our community. So we have the mayor that's on board and said, well, the mayor says he's not on board with this Garrett decision. He said he likes the budget as it is.
Right. So the mayor's already tweeted out saying that, as well as the chief of staff, I think is Jordan Ellsbury, I think that's his name, that this is an attempt to defund the police. Yeah. I mean, that's the way you want to look at it. That's the way you want to look at it. And for people who don't know, me and Garrett Dennis don't agree on nothing. Yeah. But we're at a position here where we were thinking outside the box and we were coming up with some different ideas. Then why not give it a shot? Because you can't tell me I honestly don't believe JSO spent $485 million last year.
Okay.
I don't. Last fiscal year they got $480 some million. I don't believe they spent $480 million.
So where do you think the money is?
In a year. $480 million on what?
Well, one of us, again, they got to take care of this pension. It's not just, you guys can't think everything is not just going to for the current policeman to be out in the field. It's not. Yes. You also got to think of the back end of the people that also work in the 9/11 in the call centers. You got to think of all the things that go on to run a police force. So I don't know if you may have considered that. I don't know, but I want everybody to think like that. It's not just the police officers that you see in a car and just driving them down the block giving speeding tickets.
Thank you.
It's everything that supports these guys. Again, you're talking about the pension. You're talking about, again, all the supplies, all the needs, all the gas, all the cars, all the car maintenance, changing the tires. You're talking about all the bullets, everything. And then again, you get to the people. So all those things, I don't know what it adds up to be. I'll take a look at that and see if we can come out to it. But they got it and they said it. Now, going back to what Chief of Staff Jordan Ellsbury said, he directly contradicts what Dennis said. He says, make no mistake about it, this is an attempt to defund men and women in uniform. This is an attempt, according to the Chief of Staff of the Mayor's office. And he said, if it comes to fruition, Mayor Curry will be forced to strongly consider vetoing the 2021 budget.
Yes, sir.
If that would happen, it would be the first time in recent history that the budget has been vetoed.
So listen, so what you said was 100% accurate as far as talking about the pension, as far as talking about other issues or other individuals like, the 911 operators and dispatch and things of that nature. That is very true, which is why people are saying, show me the money. That shouldn't be hard and shouldn't be any fighting. Where did you spend the money at? That's all people are asking. That's accountability. That's transparency. Where did you spend the money at? People don't want to show that. People don't want to discuss that because they don't want to be told, hey, you didn't need that. Or this position could be cut. It's the same thing when we talk about with the school board. You got all this money going to the school board and you got 50 million administrators making $100,000 a year, but you don't really need 50 administrators when you can do with maybe 35 and save some money. People don't want to be told what to do with the money once they get it. It's like, This is my money. It's not your money. That's taxpayer money. That's not your money. Right. If you want to keep that money and you want to get more next year, or you want to get the same that you got last year or more, show me where it went. Tell me where it went. So that way the city council, it's their job is oversight, the finance committee, to look at this money and say, this was a good spin. This was a good spin. I don't think y'all really needed that. Why did y'all need that? And ask those questions. Why did you feel like you needed to spend X amount of dollars on X, Y, and Z? That's transparency. But just saying, we're going to give you a blank check, and if anyone complains about the amount of money we getting that you're getting, you're anti-police, or you wanted to fund the police. That is the stupidest argument I've ever heard.
Okay, so would you like to do something like would you think they need to have something like maybe a zero-sum budgeting where you got to spend all your money every time and then come back and get more? Don't come to me until you spent all this money I gave you and you show me how?
That's what the Navy does. That's what we do in the Navy. You know how much money we wasted when I was in the Navy? Oh, we wasted some money. September 1st come around, we waiting for October 30th, since October 1st, the new fiscal year. Mm-hmm. Whatever money we had on September 1st, BMF, baby, we blowing money fast on the dumbest stuff. Just wasting money. Just wasting money.
Okay. So you got proof of that. You know it not from what you heard.
United States military is. I was in the Navy. If the United States Navy is doing that, then I know other departments who are receiving in other locations or people who are receiving taxpayer dollars, they're doing the exact same thing. They want to make sure they get rid of all that money so it can look like it was put to good use and it was look like it was spent purposefully, because you can justify. I mean, you can try to justify anything.
Right.
You try to justify it. Well, we had to spend money on Donut Day. I love cops. I think cops have a difficult job. I think they have a very difficult job.
Yes,
I am pro-police, 120%. But when it comes to taxpayers' dollars, the conservative in me says no taxpayer-funded budget is off limits. Period.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that because that's my money.
That's my money.
That's my money.
That's your money.
That's my money.
It's my money.
Oh, okay. So we got
transparency. Like Mr. Trying to say, transparency,
transparent accountability. But see that's kind of like an oxymoron when it comes to politics, and that's where we are. They don't want, as Christian said, they don't want to see what's going on. And Mr. Murdoch says, "Hey, the teacher unions are out of control." Yeah. And I can see where you can come to that conclusion quite easily. So it's difficult, but again, nothing is Christian. I don't know what's going on in my eye right now. I got an eyelash or something. I apologize for that. But nothing that we're talking about cannot be fixed.
Yes,
if we will, with our type of government.
No, sir.
Our republic, not our socialist democracy, not our Marxist, not our anything, but our republic. That means that we have to get involved. And again, that's the purpose of the show. I appreciate you guys tuning in, but I need you guys to reach out. And Christian, now we can do more too, to reach out and get more involved in our communities, get the word out more and put the pressure on these guys. And it's not like Donald Trump or the Congress or even all the way down to city council. If you're here in Jacksonville listening, our city council or your city council, your city manager, however your city is set up, these guys aren't just beamed from outer space from somewhere. These guys are voted in office. They come from your community. So you should be able to reach out and touch them. And you should be able to vote them in and vote them out if they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And that's the philosophy I want to get across. We can talk details. We can talk about budgets and all those things. But what is the philosophy behind the people with the budget? If they act right, if we can get some statesmen, if we can get some men and women that we can trust and uncorruptible, if you will, because people say people get corrupt once they get in office. If we can get some men and women and take out that corrupted part of it, then we'll be fine. But we don't. We get the Corrine Browns in here. We get the Katrina Browns in here that take money and do this for a while and get away with it. We can't have that anymore. And then people defend them while they do this. We can't have that anymore. We cannot afford it. Get involved. Think critically and get involved. I stole that from somebody who used to have a radio show years and years ago, but he said, think critically and get involved.
Right. And part of that is holding people accountable. You have to hold politicians accountable. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on.
Yeah.
Hold politicians accountable. You hold it. If you hold everyone accountable, that's an elective office. Whether it's the sheriff, whether it's the mayor, whether it's city council members, you hold them accountable for the decisions they make and for the actions they make. It doesn't have to be nasty. It doesn't have to be rude. And if people take that, you holding them accountable as being against them or being the hell with them, then it just has to be that way. And because people look at like I was saying earlier, you look at anyone who says anything negative or is not 100% behind what the police are doing, they're anti-police. It's a stupid argument. You're going to lose that argument every time.
Every time.
Because there doesn't have to be a choice between accountability and support. I can support you and still hold you accountable. You should want me to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
You're an elected official. Your job is to take care of the people.
If you're really there to help the people, you want to be held accountable. If you're really there to help
the people.
Yeah.
And like, so you talk about, I was talking about Garrett Dennis's bill. I think it's a good idea. I'm not saying it's the greatest idea or that's what the mayor should do or that's what the city should do. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's an idea. Have the conversation. Discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
Have the open conversation. Let city open it up to city. Let the people come down. Let the people listen to both sides of the argument. Let people listen to the argument. Have the conversation. Stop trying to shut everything down and make it seem like, people are just the worst people in the world. Oh my God, they hate police and they just don't love police and they just don't like this. And, Garrett Dennis is the worst because he's a Democrat and this person is the worst because he's a Republican. Just shut up already. Just shut up already. Let the people listen to your ideas and let the people decide whether or not this is a course of action that they want to take. Because Garrett Dennis may get pushed back from from constituents in the city saying, no, we don't think this is a good idea, which is their very right to do that, is to call him to complain and say, we don't think this is a good idea. He may get calls from people saying, this is a wonderful idea. Let's continue to discuss this. Let's try to develop this more and see where we can go with this. This may be a really good idea to begin with, but we got to start having these conversations, and not everyone just running to their corners and ready to fight.
Yeah,
let's have the conversation.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. All right, speaking of running the corners and fighting, who's coming to town, Christian?
Oh, my man Trump coming to town Thursday.
Santa Claus is coming to town. All right. Santa Claus, Donald Trump is coming to town. Jacksonville, Florida, this Thursday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
What's his reason for coming to town?
It's another rally type event. I was invited to it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it.
I want you to go, man.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. I kind of really wanted to go. I've never been to a Trump rally. I want to see what
I've been on the outside of one when Trump came, and it is funny. And again, this goes to stereotyping of what happens. Kathy and I went from another radio show I used to do, and we go out there and we're just recording what's out there.
Right.
Now, black people see us recording, and they automatically think we're Trump supporters. And man, they give us the evil eye. They say little bad, smart remarks. And all we're doing is filming and talking about Donald Trump coming and what he is going to talk about.
Right.
Not giving opinions on what we think whatsoever. But because we were black and we were filming it, we had to be Trump supporters. And man, you talking about the viciousness, the venom we got from just didn't have any kind of political shirts on, nothing.
Right.
But the people,
it was on you. It was all over you,
all over me. But they ain't put no fear in my heart. But it's like, what are you serious right now? These rallies, and then we went to California. We went to DC for the inauguration, and it was absolutely crazy as well.
Yes.
So when Trump comes to town, it is a spectacle because you have thousands of people protesting and thousands of people in support, and it seems like it's just drawn down a line. You get stereotyped. Real quick. Now, if you're black and you're around some other black people, they think you love Trump. I mean, they think you hate Trump.
It's always been like that. It's always been like that. That's not something that's new. It could have been George Bush coming to town, or Mitt Romney coming to town. They'd looked at you the same way.
Yeah, but I think it's more hype with Trump now because Trump will say something out of his mouth, and then the media will lie on Trump, and so you got the lies they tell on him, and then the crap that comes out of his pie hole.
Right.
It's like it's crazy. So
he certainly has amplified that.
Oh yes,
I was looking forward to. I was thinking about going. I was wanting to go. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. So we have to catch him next go around. I think it's like the third or fourth time he's been to Jacksonville.
Well, wait, I'm trying to figure out why I didn't get the invite.
Nobody likes you.
Wow. Okay, for
me, I like you.
Well, I appreciate it. So nobody likes me. That makes sense then. Omar says, "Is it annoying as hell for people to tell you how you're expected to vote?" Yes, it is annoying as hell for people to tell you how you're expected to vote. I don't know why. And it's the same folk that'll tell you how they expect you to vote, but they won't let you tell them how to vote.
Sure won't.
They won't let you tell them.
Sure won't.
So why are you? How do you know more than me, or why is your opinion better than mine? So to me, when somebody tells you that, this is how my thought process. That's disrespectful. What you're telling me is I can't make an intelligent decision on my behalf. I don't know enough about myself or what I need or politics or the politicians running in order to make an educated decision to further the agenda I think is best for our country. But you, on the other hand, you know what's best for your family and mine, and you're going to go ahead and steer me in the right direction, you great citizen, you.
So let me ask you this question, because I hear this a lot from people. They say, especially they say towards black people, that because they vote Democrat, they are voting against their own interests.
I disagree with that. It depends on what your interests are. You got to figure out what your interests are.
Exactly.
You can't automatically tell me it's against my interests.
Exactly.
You can say that if these are things you stand for. And I was talking to someone in my family just what's today? Monday? Saturday I was talking to someone in my family, and this person was saying that they just can't vote for Trump because he's a racist and the way he speaks.
Right.
And I was saying, well, tell me some policies, because the person said they're going to vote for Biden. They're looking to vote for Biden. I said, give me some policies of Trump that you don't like. Give me some policies of Biden that you do like. I never tell anybody who to vote for. You come to your own conclusion. Like you say, that's your decision. I'm grown, you grown. Figure out what you want to do. But all I ask of people is to have some facts behind it. But this person couldn't tell me any Biden policies that they like. I'm like, Biden's been in office 40 plus years. You can't tell me nothing that you know about him.
Right.
But all you can tell me is that Trump is a racist and he's real mean. So I was like, well, if you can't tell me any policies that's bad, but you can't tell me policies that's good, how you know you're getting something better? All you deciding on now is who's going to make you feel good when they talk to you.
Feel good. Orange man bad.
You can't vote on your feel good.
Orange man bad.
Yeah, you got a silver tongue. I'm like, you need to know that you know, because you going with your feelings. One person can talk you into something. The next person turn around and talk you right back out, because you don't know
right out of it.
You don't know that you know.
And that's why policy is the most important thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got time to be in my feelings, worried about someone insulting my feelings and hurting my feelings and being all feelings.
Mm-hmm.
What's the policy?
Yeah. But at the same time, I understand you got to get a policy.
Going to affect my family? How's the policy going to affect my community? That's what I care about.
Right. But let's flip it. But we both know that the average American does not pay attention to all the details in politics.
That's true.
So if Donald Trump is the great leader that he says he is and knows everything, and he said, I alone have all the answers. Remember, he said, I alone can fix America. He also needs to know that if he's alone that can fix America, then it's he alone that's got to bring America together. And he knows that the things that he's saying is pushing America apart. So he should be able to govern his tongue better, keep the policies that he says so great, but govern your tongue better, soften your message so you'll have support. I personally think that if he softened his tongue and stopped all that tweeting 2 years ago or 3 years ago when he started doing it crazy, Joe Biden wouldn't even stand a chance. It wouldn't even be a race. I don't think the Democrats would just put up anybody, because before the pandemic, the economy was great. We had the lowest unemployment rate for Black people since the 60s, and everybody else as well. We had businesses coming back to the country. We had the stock market doing well. People were willing to invest. People were willing to take a chance. People are willing to do things economically and business-wise to start new business because of the foundation. People say it's a continuation of Barack Obama. I want to argue that. You call it
you can call it whatever you want. What's he supposed to do? Crash it?
Yeah, but Trump kept it going. So if you give Barack Obama great credit. That's what you want to do, because I want to argue that. But the bottom line is Trump kept it going. So things were going pretty well up until this pandemic, but except for his rhetoric. But since most people don't pay attention to politics, and you can easily take a video clip, or a sound clip of, like, when Trump saying that, or they said that all Mexicans were rapists and all that. It's not what he said, but they took the sound clip, they flipped it, and people started rolling with it. He says all Mexicans are rapists. Not what he said. But because he said it in the way that he said it, he leaves himself open for him to be lied on.
Right.
So you're the great leader. Then say words that are more palatable, I should say, to the ear, so you can keep on with your Making America Great Again policy.
Right.
If Making America Great Again is so great, then make your words great first.
Well, I can't get involved with all that. That doesn't concern me. So,
but that's you. But as the average person, like, you talk about policy, right? But the average person, no policy, no. The average person knows how he makes them feel.
I get
If you can't make them feel right, but you got great policies, then you're putting your policies that you think are going to be good for the country in jeopardy of the feel-good man to come through and take your spot and screw everything else up.
All right, so, but listen to this, though. So here's a problem, right? I can only give you the information. You have to actually digest it,
mm-hmm.
and on a lot of occasions, you have to go get that information yourself. Okay. If people are not willing to do that, there's nothing that you can do about that. Nothing. There's nothing you can do to make people retain the information, seek the information, or ask more questions. If they're going to be stuck in, I hate X, Y, and Z because I hate X, Y, and Z, then that's on them. Okay. There's nothing to do with me and or what I'm looking at, because I can't worry about what the next person is thinking or not thinking. If already given them the information or even shown them where the information. You look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump was never a politician. Donald Trump was a businessman. He's conducting the White House the way he conducted business. Some people like it. Some people don't like it. But what you've had over the last 100 years before Mr. Trump came into office was politicians telling you what you wanted to hear, and you still complained. You still moaned. You still groaned. And then you get a politician there who's not going to tell you what you want to hear and maybe even offensive to you, and you're still complaining. Well, what do you want? You want someone to coddle you? You want someone to coddle you like they've been doing, but lying to you? Or you want somebody to tell you, you know what? I think you're a horrible person.
But
I ain't mad at him. I don't care about none of that.
But see, that's you. But again, that's why we have a candidate like Joe Biden that a lot of people are getting behind. Because you say one thing, but again, if you're not paying attention to policy, Donald Trump being the great leader that he says he is, then he's got to be able to speak to the people, to order the deal. You can't go and close a deal speaking to people that kind of way. If he's going to close these $1 million, buy this $1 million hotel and put his name on it, he can't cuss out the customers. He can't come tell them how they suck. He can't come tell them how they dumb. He can't be up there and all this other stuff. He can't be saying they're bleeding out of this place and that place. He can't be doing these things and then say, let's do business. You have to use your thoughts. You have to govern your tongue.
That's what he said. I'm not going to sit here and try to say, okay, well, there was an excuse for what he said. That's what he said. It is what it is.
And that's what it is. It's costly. He's got these great policies.
If people don't like it, don't vote for him. Who cares?
But see, that's where you go wrong. You said if people don't like his talk, don't vote. But that's not what you say is the important thing. The important thing you say is his policies. They're not even listening to his policies. So again, if he's going to make America great again, he told the world that he is the best to save this country. I alone have the answers. If you alone have the answers, then you alone need to be able to articulate it in a manner in which people will be receptive to your voice and your message. You cannot do it if you are running people away. So you got a slick-tongued person. If you want to say Biden's a slick-tongued person, we won't argue that right now. But you got the person that makes you feel good and what people are listening to more and more. You got the media, as someone said up here. Media's but most of the information about Trump and media is negative, so that's not helping. But so you don't talk policies. Most people don't. They say, what did Donald Trump say today? He talked about the handicap. He talked about the homosexual. He talked about the illegal alien. He wants to get rid of Medicare. He wants to hurt old people. He doesn't like black people. All these things. Give me some policies, but people don't talk about that. So again, use your great leadership that you say you have to bring the country together. Anything other than that, Donald Trump, and you don't have my best interest at heart. If you are the best person for the job, Donald Trump, be that best person, not only in your policies, but in your promotion of the policy.
Listen, his delivery and how he delivers it, I'm pretty sure Melania would be giving him hell at nighttime like, bruh, that was kind of dumb. You shouldn't have said that. Listening to her, he's damn sure ain't listening to his advisors. It is what it is. The man's 70-something years old. He going to say it how he want to say it. He going to deliver it how he want to deliver it. He going to do it his way. If that happens to cost him the election, then it costs him the election. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. People from the beginning of him coming out, they're not paying attention to what the policy is anyway. They could care less about the policy. They hate the guy, orange man bad. It is what it is. It doesn't matter how he provides the information now, because if he provides the information now, like I think it was the very first episode that we did on one of the topics of Donald Trump was, you can't have it both ways. When he does it this way, he's abrasive and he's rude and he's disgusting. And then when he tones it back and does it a different way, he ain't being sincere.
No.
Why he ain't talking like he used to talk? Why he ain't talking like he used to talk? Make up your mind. You can't have it both ways.
You can have it a way.
People want it both ways. I don't want it both ways. What I want, and then when he presents that during a certain situation, they don't accept that as being genuine, and they're questioning why is he doing it that way. And then when he goes back to being the other way, it's, well, why isn't he doing it that way.
But then he needs to reestablish himself.
Let that man let that man do his thing.
Okay, let's get Donald Morgan L. We say what you mean. Okay, if he can't articulate his thoughts, he's putting the country in danger. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, if he can't articulate his thoughts, he's putting the country in danger in his mind, because he said, I alone know how to fix this country. If he alone knows how to fix this country, but he's not doing what it takes to stay in control so he can fix the country, then he is putting the country in danger, because he's putting himself in a position for somebody else to come into office who does not know, according to him, how to fix the country. So I'm saying he has to fix himself if he thinks he's that great, if he loves this country. Anything less than saying you love this country and you're not giving your best to bring this country together because you claim you got the best ideas, you're lying. Well, you don't think you're the best, or you know you don't have the best ideas for the country. You're too stubborn to change.
So let me ask you this question. Of course he's too stubborn.
Then he's not the best for the country.
Bro, we 4 years deep into this, and you still asking that same question? He's too stubborn to change?
I'm just calling it out for what it is. I'm saying stop these Republicans, stop lying, acting like Donald Trump is the best thing since sliced bread and nothing else matters but his policies. It's not just policies. Because people don't vote policy. Many people don't vote policy. I might venture to say most people don't vote policy. So if that's what not most people vote, then focus on what it is. If you want to win the election, then do what it takes to win, legally, of course, to get the vote. Do the policies right, because you can always talk about that in a debate, especially if you get somebody that really wants to talk policy. But you also have people feeling good when they had a conversation. I'm not saying blow smoke up their behind. I'm not trying to say be some dudes use a lot of hyperbole, but I'm saying use words that are more palatable to the ear. Use words and phrases that aren't going to excite people. Do some things that's really going to, you see what's going on in the world, and you exaggerate some things. You forget about other things. You don't speak about certain things that's happening to certain communities, black communities, like people expect you to say some things. You come out for a lot of things that happen with white people to get some things come out. You seem to be speaking upon that, or that gets blown out of proportion. You want to argue that point. That's fine. But I'm saying the message of you being able to bring people together is not there. And he doesn't seem to care that that's the situation.
Do you let's be we said we're gonna be real. Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Okay.
What's your question?
Do you honestly think people gave him an opportunity from the time he was the nominee?
I think they gave him as much opportunity as Barack Obama.
That's delusional.
And I'll tell you why.
That is delusional.
Well, that's what you say. Let me defend it. All right.
Go ahead, defend that.
Thank you. One, he has the opportunity to speak as the president with the same authority that Barack Obama had. When Barack Obama got in office, he had the Senate and the House under his control. When President Donald Trump became office, he had the Senate and the House under his control. Now, the flip side, I know what your argument is. The Republicans were screaming they're going to get rid of what's his name, President Barack Obama. He's going to be a one-term president. They're not going to pass anything. When Trump got in office, Democrats are saying the same thing. He's going to be a one-term deal. We're not going to let him pass anything, and that's what's happened. Now, in between that, you can say the media. Now, on the media side, I can see where you say that's wrong, because the media loved Barack Obama. The media loved him, and they played him up to be this great man. I used to say Barack Obama. I used to say peace be upon him after I said his name and Michelle Obama, because people thought he was the next Messiah. So I give you that part. But Donald Trump offset that when he started using those tweets. Donald Trump cut through the media when he started using the tweets, and that was genius of him. Except what he was saying in his tweets.
I don't buy any of that.
Go ahead. What you say?
Here's the problem.
One other thing before you tell me. It doesn't really matter when it all comes down to it, because Donald Trump knew that they hated him well before he became president. So he already should have been ready for it. But go ahead.
Oh, they loved Donald Trump before he became president.
I'm saying when he was running before he went.
Oh, when he was running.
Before he announced, they loved him. He had a TV show, he was
in every rapper song. Every rapper song.
He's getting NAACP awards. He's doing all these things. Yeah, I understand it. And that's the flip side. He was given to Hillary's campaign before he ran, and previously when he was running.
He gave money to Kamala Harris, if I'm not mistaken, when she.
He was bringing them all off. So that's why people say he might be a closet Democrat. But the bottom line is, I say that Trump, and that's why I don't think Trump is a racist. I think Trump is a lover of money. And I think that Trump will do anything, and just he likes to win in his idea. He likes to make money. And if you can make money, if you can show that you can run business and handle things, I think that that's who he rolls with, because he rolls with a lot of other folk, and he hates on everybody. So I think he's an equal opportunity hater. He talked about Carly Figueroa, if I say her last name right. That's the one that's bleeding out everywhere. Fiorina, excuse me. Yeah. He talked about what's the comedian, Rosie O'Donnell, call her all kind of bees and those type of things. So that's women. He talked about Ted Cruz. He talked about Marco Rubio. So that's a white man and Hispanic man. He talked about who else was running for president at the time? The rich guy, the Mormon. I'm lost for words right about now.
Who you tell?
I can't think of his name, but I'll get it pop back in a moment. So he talks about everybody.
Okay.
So nothing was. So when it comes to races, I think he just wants to make money, and I think he'll step on. He'll sell his own mama for some money. I think.
And listen, that's your opinion. That's your thought.
That's why I said I think. I could be
wrong. The problem with your argument overall is there was never a moment from the time that he was elected where there was peace or an opportunity to be the president. He came out, he's defensive since day one. That defensiveness went through media problems in the media, problems with obstruction from Republicans, obstruction from Democrats. You look at Mr. You look at, like you said, he came into office in 2016. We had the Republicans had the House and the Senate, and still couldn't get any money for a wall. Obama walked in with the House and the Senate. He got Obamacare passed.
They passed without even looking at it.
He started off with obstructionists in his own party.
Hold on, Mitt Romney. That was the name I was looking for. It popped in my head.
When you said Mormon, I kind of figured where you was going with that.
So he talked about Mitt Romney as well, but go ahead.
He started off with obstructionists in his own party. Mm-hmm. RNC wanted nothing to do with him. Nothing. Even when he became the nominee, they wanted nothing to do with him. He was swimming uphill since then.
Because he was spreading.
Let me finish, though.
All right, go ahead.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
You look at that as a negative. A lot of people look at that as a positive, as someone who's fighting back against people who are attacking him. Now, you can say that's a negative all you want to. The fact that he won shows that it wasn't a negative to America because he won. Okay. It wasn't a negative.
I'll give you that.
So,
it wasn't negative to the right combination of people in America because he lost the popular vote. So it wasn't negative to the right combination of people.
We don't do popular vote. We do the electoral.
That's what I'm saying. So the electoral college. That's what I talked about last show. Donald Trump was scoring touchdowns. Hillary Clinton was kicking field goals. So
yes, he won.
He scored the right way.
It don't matter.
He scored the right way.
It don't matter if he if she beat him by 6 million, 7 million, 8 million votes. Irrelevant.
Right. I understand that.
You went where it mattered.
But
so
you said
bring that up.
Yeah, but you said the people. I'm telling you, people wanted
the people.
The people wanted Hillary. The electoral college said Trump, and that's what we go by.
Hillary. How you figure that?
The popular vote.
Say what?
The popular vote.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Are you serious right now? How many people in the state of Florida?
How many people in the state of Florida? Oh, I just had that up. I don't know.
22 million?
I can pull it up real quick. I'll pull it right back. But go ahead, keep it while I pull it up.
22 million people in the state of Florida.
Okay.
The state of Texas about what? Largest state in the union? About what? 25, 30 million?
Let's see.
State of Texas?
Okay.
And you have California, you have the state of New York. Right?
Sure.
Those are when you're talking the popular vote, those are the only states that really matter. Those are the only states that really matter when you're talking popular vote. Florida, Texas, New York, California. That is it.
Yeah, I understand that.
So we don't deal with the popular vote because we have more than just 4 states.
I didn't say that I agree that I was not saying that we don't need the Electoral College. I'm just saying the number of people, flat out numbers that said we want Hillary versus the flat out numbers that said we want Trump. Hillary got the number of flat out people. Now, they didn't play the rules. Again, when you talk about a popular state and Electoral College, I understand it because you got to have Electoral College so the smaller states can get some kind of power, some kind of say-so in who's going to be their leader. I understand it. But I'm saying just a flat out number, if you were just to line them up person for person, when it's all said and done, when you matched them up, Hillary would have some more people out there that had nobody to match up with the Trump voters. Like I said, Donald Trump scored the right way. Hillary Clinton just scored. So Hillary Clinton kicked 6 field goals. Donald Trump scored 5 touchdowns. So Donald Trump got 30 points. Hillary's got 18. She scored more population, but she scored the wrong way. Electoral College. That's all I'm saying.
You ridiculous.
What?
So my man, he got the so he won.
Yes.
He won because America said the people wanted him.
That's what Electoral College said.
The people wanted him.
Hey, he fair and square.
He won more
That's the rules. Hillary knew the rules.
He won more states. Which
he won more states. Hillary knew
more
the rules.
People, more the states. The country wanted him.
Yeah.
I don't care about any other stuff. The country.
I ain't arguing that point. He is duly elected.
He's a duly elected president and has been hamstrung since before he was even inaugurated. He was even inaugurated. So you can't say that he got the same treatment as Barack Obama walking in the door. That's nonsense.
I'll give you that, bro. I'll give you that about the media. Okay, we can argue that point.
We're not talking about media. We're talking about his own party. His own party didn't want nothing to do with him, even after he won the nomination. The own party didn't want nothing to do with them. Because the simple fact that when he walked into office and was inaugurated, how much did he have to fight with Paul Ryan?
Okay, I'm going to concede. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. All right, I'll give you that.
Obama walked in with the House and the Senate, and he got the ACA passed. He got some other things passed as well, but the big ticket item was the ACA. He got it passed. Trump walked into the presidency with the House and the Senate, and he couldn't get a border wall built. Really?
It was already being built. He just couldn't get it going. And one, but that's flipping.
He couldn't get the money he wanted for it.
But why couldn't he get it built?
He had $25 billion. He couldn't get the
Tell me why couldn't he get it built?
Say what?
I guess we can argue that. And I'm gonna my point about because you brought up the wall. One of the reasons why he couldn't get it built is because of the way he went about trying to get it built. He came out again. The media flipped and said he called all Mexicans rapists, so that was a problem. But then again, he started being cocky, talking about we gonna get Mexico to pay for it. And when the Mexican leader of Mexico said we're not doing it, he's like, oh, dude, this just got 10 feet higher. You gonna pay for it. So he comes out cocky. He comes out. How can you get support for him? Because he come out like that. And then again, I'm going to say, because I agree with what you said. He did. I said I concede. I think you're right. When I look back and when you broke that case down, I'll give it that. I think Donald Trump did have it, or does have it, or did have it worse when he first came in office. But the other part of it is one reason why it's worse is because how he carried himself. He was one of the first people that would talk about their own political leaders. You look at Kamala Harris. She didn't call Obama. She didn't call Joe Biden racist. She said, I don't want to call you racist, but this. She basically called him that, but she didn't flat out say it. Donald Trump come out and say, hey, I think Ted suggested Ted Cruz's dad. He may have been over there to help to plot the assassination of JFK. He talks about Marco Rubio's little hands and talks about, if you're bleeding out of her nose, good well what he's talking about. So he is going off against his own political leaders. The understanding the Democrats have is that you gonna need them if you lose the nomination. So don't dog them out too much. And you can kind of get away with, they'll be your friends later on. You can bring and nominate one to be your vice president. Hence, Barack Obama had Joe Biden. Hence, you got you got Kamala Harris as the VP of Biden now. And now, if you look at who Donald Trump chose, Donald Trump didn't choose any of those people that were running against him. He went out and got Mike Pence. Why? Because he had dogged out Mike Pence. You know what I'm saying? So if you look and see what he burned a lot of his own bridges because of what he said and how he said it. He went against the grain of what the political parties are teaching you to say. You're not supposed to come out and talk about your fellow Republicans like that, or talk about your fellow Democrats in a way. You're supposed to debate.
That's why he won. What part of that don't you people understand?
That's not why he. People win.
I mean,
you people. But understand, people win without doing that. Republicans have won the presidency without acting like Donald Trump. So that's not why he won. Or you can argue, maybe you're saying it's time for change, but people have won the presidency all these other times without being the butthole that he's been when he's on stage.
Yes.
Look what he did to Hillary, how he's always just trying to stand over like he's menacing when they were debating. Who does that? Donald Trump does. So he created his own problems when he got into office. He already had the nomination. Once he had it locked, he should have changed his rhetoric, but he still didn't change. He still went on with, like you said, he doesn't take advice of people. He doesn't do anything what anybody wants to say. He knows it all. If you don't agree with him, he fires his generals. He fires people left and right. He says he's the best man and knows how to put everybody in office. He can choose the right people, all this other stuff. How long did it take him to fill all his cabinet positions because people didn't want it? And how many times has he fired somebody after he hired them when he said they were the greatest in the world? How did he fire the FBI director? He fired that guy. He didn't even know he was fired. That dude had to turn on the TV and hit it. He was fired. Are you kidding me?
Pink slip Trump.
I'm saying, but he said he hires only the best people. If you hired only the best people, how could you keep firing people? You're a walking contradiction with that. Come on, man.
Listen, because like people lie in the interview. They put on a good face in the interview, like Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney was all kissing his behind, trying to be his homie, because he wanted that Secretary of State position. But we knew Mitt Romney was a snake from day one. I didn't vote for Mitt Romney. I have no problem saying that. Okay. I didn't vote for Mitt Romney at all.
Okay, I ain't vote for Trump. I ain't got no problem saying that.
He was a snake. I voted for Trump. I ain't got no problem saying that.
All right. That's like, what's up, McDuffie?
He said what he said. The problem with the conversation
is that you are looking at things in the flesh and not in the spirit. Okay, we're going to take it to the next level. People fail to look at the possibility that God placed Trump in office and that America is being judged by God. Just as God placed judgment against Israel and allowed for the demise of his people, God is clearing this country. For Trump to have won in that way he did, that was an outright miracle or a fix. Trump is the epitome of all things evil, is representative of the demonic beings on earth. As America is getting what it is coming to it. Wow.
I'm always curious about this argument. I appreciate Mr. McDuffie commenting, and I'm always curious about the argument from both sides of Republicans. Oh, God put Trump in office. This country is doing better because God is following Donald Trump, and then the other side, this country is doing bad because God hates America and God has a problem with everything Trump's doing and we're being judged. My question always is why do you believe that God has played any role in this?
Because that's what God says. That's in the Bible. You talk about the leadership.
But now you got to pick a point. Now you got to pick a side, though. Is it demonic or is it heavenly?
It's both.
Is it
if you can argue because the Bible talks. What I'm saying is if we want to go get biblical, but we're going to have to wrap this up in a second. We can't, because this is going to open another can of worms. But not a can of worms, but a whole new topic. If you want to get biblical, God says that He puts people in place, right? And God also says, we're talking about Christianity here. God also says that the devil is going to rule for a while. So He's telling you what's going to happen. He's telling that the top devil, the top demon is going to run the show. So is that demonic or is that Christian? That God is telling us these things are going to come to pass. But he also says, if you're on the right team, it don't matter what happens, you're going to be taken care of. So people can, that's how people can argue both sides. Because I've been at Trump rallies and people right here in Jacksonville, and people are saying that Trump was sent by God and he's going to take care of us and everything. Right. Like people saying about Barack Obama when people are passing out Barack Obama. I heard a guy on the radio show that said listeners, President Donald Trump was honest to a fault. That's what this person said. Mm-hmm. Donald J. Trump was honest to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
He believed that. And a lot of people do. In the face of all the lies, all you gotta do is Google Donald Trump lies, and it's like, brah! You know what I'm saying? It's hundreds of them.
I don't believe all of them.
No, I didn't say you believe all of them, but but you can spit out a few. If you can't, I can spit out a few for you.
Checkers.
Yeah, but I can spit out a few for you right here and right now. But I can do the same thing with Barack Obama. Barack Obama lies. Brah! And the people that love Trump will get mad at you, and they will deny the lie that's right in your face. And the people that love Barack Obama, they'll get mad at you and deny the lie that's right in your face.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is going on?
Yes, they will. And so which part is that, though?
God uses everything for his glory. I get what Mr. McDuffie said right there. Right here, Mr. McDuffie said what? It's both. God is in command and use all for his glory. Because when it's all said and done, God already called the shots. So it's just a matter. It's a matter of what team you gonna get on. You gonna be on the winning team? You're gonna be the losing team.
It's already named. It's already.
But here's the thing: people want to jump on the winning team like they bandwagoners. The winning team, they want to get on the winning team, but they want to get on a team that's winning. You know, like it's fair weather fan.
Pray for our leaders, though.
Yeah, we're supposed to pray for them.
Okay, so when you have people saying that it's demonic, or the individual is demonic,
why can't you? But doesn't the Bible talk about the Antichrist being a leader?
You ain't following me. We should pray for our leaders.
Yes.
We ain't gonna sit here in front and act like people out here praying for Donald Trump.
I do. I pray for him.
I pray for Barack Obama.
I pray for Barack Obama too.
We ain't talking about us.
Yeah.
We talking about people. Let's keep it real.
Yeah. Okay.
That coming alone lets me know my man ain't praying for Donald Trump.
Well, let's see. I don't know. Mr. McDuffie says he does. Well, I asked Mr. McDuffie, do you pray for
leaders?
And this is the reason why, too, because I pray for them because, again, even if I like them or not, it doesn't matter. They're in a position of leadership, and their decisions that they make affect me. So I got to pray that they will allow God in their hearts and make the right decision. God will touch them, that whatever's going to be to influence them, to make them, help them, lead them to make the right decision, that's going to be benefit. It didn't work with Barack Obama when he lit up that White House in the rainbow colors.
Hey, listen.
It didn't work.
I guarantee you my man wasn't saying that the country was demonic then.
I bet he was.
I bet he wasn't.
You talking about Mr. McDuffie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was.
I bet he wasn't.
I know Mr. McDuffie.
You know Mr. McDuffie?
Yeah, I know Mr. McDuffie. Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Okay. He my man then. If he ain't trying to play one side against the other.
No. He tell it. Miss McDuffie will tell you how he feel and he don't be wavering and he ain't no wishy-washy type dude.
Well, true that. Well, I appreciate you, Mr. McDuffie. Appreciate your comments too. Mrs. Wilson, Miss Doris Wilson, Mama Wilson said the U.S. has turned from the chosen country, so God is turning away. What chosen country is that?
Yeah, I'm stuck on that. Well, people say Israel's the chosen country.
Right, Israel's the chosen country.
It was, but God came up and said he ain't had no respect for people. Anybody can come his way. So people forget about how God came back later on and said, well, Jesus came back and said, we're going to switch all that up. It ain't just, it's Jews and Gentiles. You know what I'm saying? It's Jews and Gentiles. It's not Jews over Gentiles.
Right.
It's not Jews and then Gentiles later on. It's Jews and Gentiles. He said, what? No man can enter except through me. He didn't say only Jews can enter.
Right.
No man can enter. So all you got to do is accept.
No, but I'm just trying to
figure out black, white, don't matter.
Mama Wilson was like, the U.S. has turned from the chosen country. What chosen?
Yeah, what do you mean by that? Let's see if she typed that up. We got about 8 minutes.
About 8 minutes. Yeah, and I would love to know what
the U.S. Why do you say the U.S. was a chosen country? That's the question Christian was asking.
Yes, I think so. I appreciate you, Mr. Omar. Yeah, Miss Mama Wilson, I appreciate that. Why the U.S. was the chosen country?
We let her speak. But Mr. McDuffie says what? Obama was set up for the gay marriage thing. What do you mean set up?
I don't think he wasn't set up.
That's why I say what do you mean by set up? Because we can go down that. And this the thing about this show is like we can go and go because it's a whole lot to talk about, and we're glad you guys are tuning in. Remember, we do this. I want you to stay in. I want you to stay involved with us. I want you to share the information. Yes. I'm gonna give you the call number. I'll put it right here on the screen. It is 904-515-3733. 904-515-3733. Please share these conversations that we're having on your social media. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, and a couple other things that Christian found. So we're in a whole lot of different social media areas. But go and like our Facebook page, and you see the title, The Black Code Red. And again, we talk about issues that deal with the Black community, with any community, but we specify a lot in the Black community.
Right.
And that's the reason we got the name, because Christian came with his name. Now, I like the name. It's the Code Red, of course, is understood as being something serious and something needs to be addressed immediately. And for Black folk, we're in a situation where we need to address these situations immediately, especially before the election. We don't want people running and just going to vote for somebody just because they don't know what's happening with them. So when you go make your vote, again, I'm not telling you who to vote for. I just ask that you go make an educated vote. That's all I want you to do. Just go study the policies. If you think what Donald Trump has got the best for us, then roll with it. If you think it's Joe Biden, roll with it. If you want to go with the Libertarian Party person, roll with it. But just please with sugar on top. Do your homework.
Do your research.
Yes, and just come to your conclusion.
Research.
Go out with your head up and vote.
What is important to you? What is important to your community? What is important to things? What is important to you and your family and your community? Yeah. Do your research.
Yes.
Do your research on the candidates and their positions and their policies. Someone telling you that the other guy is evil and bad, you shouldn't vote for him. That shouldn't be good enough for you anymore. What is it? Show me where the policy is. He's evil and bad. He's going to hurt my family, hurt my community, hurt my business.
Yeah,
things of that nature. So, and Mr. McDuffie said that it was already in the works, and he was not the engine, but he was set up with the nameplate of the gay president. Talking about Barack Obama, he wasn't set up. Who set him up?
Now,
we had 8 years of George Bush. That wasn't a whole lot of that going on.
George Bush had the don't ask, don't tell, or was that
was Bush?
That was Bush.
Clinton.
That was Clinton. Don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell.
And Barack Obama shut that down, right?
Did he shut it down?
I think he repealed it. I'm gonna double check that.
At that time too. I don't even remember. Be honest with you.
Now, when you were in the military, was that an issue? Was that a big deal for you guys, or just been blown up by the media? Did you care that the person next to you is a homosexual?
No, no one would ever dare come out.
So then it is an issue. If you don't dare come out, that means you can't. If you feel it's okay, that means you, for whatever reason, you're like, I can't do it.
That's the way it was. I mean, I'm not saying that people should be afraid to be. That's your life choice. That's between you and the Lord. Yeah. But you asked the question. No, people wasn't coming out and saying. Now, we had gay people. You knew who they were.
Gay people have been just a history of the world, so yeah.
Well, I'm saying you knew who they were, but it was never a thing on any command or ship that I was at. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Where, there was this like big overall problem and people are getting beat up and people getting harassed. No, it wasn't nothing like that. It was civilized, and it was, do you know who I am? I'm gonna do me, and you do you, I'm gonna do me, and we keep it moving. It wasn't no real issues that I saw in my 20 years. That doesn't mean that it wasn't going on somewhere else across the world or another part of the military or even another branch of the military. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying from my perspective, what I seen, we didn't have those. I never saw those issues where it was problematic. You know what I mean?
Okay. But I'm looking and say it looks like Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed 9 years ago. So that would put it under Barack Obama's presidency, like I thought. So Barack Obama stopped the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. And again, that some people say that, okay, you're laying down the foundation for the rest of it to come through. Like it or not, good or bad, I'm not arguing if it's a good policy or a bad policy. I'm just telling you, this is the person that laid down or just helped to push that along. And eventually, again, we had the gay marriage and all the things and something. Again, some people don't like it. So, but we can talk about that again. We got a whole lot of topics we're gonna have to talk about. So you guys got to stay tuned because we're gonna get it in.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all comments and engaging with us. We certainly, Mr. McDuffie, Ms. Wilson, everyone who Mr. Silo, So Applegate, everybody who came in and tuned in today, and I know there's some more, but I didn't get a chance to say your names. Y'all's chats don't went away, and I can't see them no more. But we appreciate y'all listening, commenting, and interacting with us, and we try to keep bringing some more good discussions and open and honest discussions.
Yeah, we hope that you feel better. We hope that we haven't wasted your time. You believe you got something out of this, and not just the entertainment part. Say a joke or two and all that. But again, we want to try and bring some history behind some things, so you can use our platform, if you will, what we talk about, to take, and when you turn on your CNN or your Fox, your MSNBC, your local news, you can take the historical aspect of what we talked about, the legal aspects we talked about, understanding 2/3 majority of the states to change the Constitution, understanding that it's important that we have 9 Supreme Court justices as an odd number to settle the differences, because if you only have 8, you can have a tie and nothing gets done. Understand how the Supreme Court justice works. So when you hear these other folk talk about what's going on with the Supreme Court, you can pull the knowledge that we dropped on you if you didn't already know and say, okay, now this makes sense. Not just the fact that, we got Ruth Bader Ginsburg is dead and they're arguing about who's going to be the next Supreme Court justice and when, but here's the reason why it's important.
Right.
They serve for life. They make decisions that the whole country has to follow by, the law of the land. So again, you can apply the background knowledge and understanding of how the process works. So no matter who you're listening to and talking to, you can discern between the truth and the lie. You can see if it makes sense based on the laws. And as Christian said, not somebody trying to make up some stuff or talk about their own feelings or use their own politics to make some changes in the rules of the world. I told you before, it's Article 3 of the Constitution is where you can find what's going on and how the Supreme Court justice was originally set up. So all these things are available. We're trying to bring them to you in a way, again, in which it makes our show a compliment, if you will, to whatever else you're listening to. You don't have to stop listening to your other stuff. Listen to us as well, and we'll do the background part for you, and it'll make a whole lot more sense. It'll all come together, and hopefully, prayerfully, we can go out and make some change in this country for the better.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else? We appreciate everything you guys talking. We got to wrap it up now. Anything else you want to say for the good of the order?
No, I think it was another good night. We will try to get back as soon as possible. Maybe not too soon, but the way the world going on, and the way the news is just flowing.
Yeah.
It's always crazy. A lot to talk about.
It's always a lot. Yeah.
There's a lot going on in the country, a lot going on in the world. We haven't really talked about any world stuff going on, like Iran and China and
TikTok,
Kuwait and Syria, exactly, the economy and things going on with that, and we haven't really gotten to even talking about any world issues.
And how that plays back and brings it back down to the federal government, all the way down to your local government, and which is where most of the situations that affect you are going to happen. Local government. Jay and Break said, "How if we're going to be on? We're going to decide that soon. We're going to have a regular set time, but we'll definitely make the announcements on the pages so you can see. So we're not exactly sure. Schedules are kind of crazy right now for us, so we're going to narrow some things down. We definitely want to again encourage you to keep listening." And share with all your friends. If you want to if you've got a question to us, some critiques or something we can do to make the show better, or some other topics, feel free to hit us up on our Facebook page or and just let us know. Hey, I like this, or I didn't like that, or I like to hit this topic up. I think it's interesting to the people. We'll do the research. We'll bring it up. Tell all your friends about it. And we'll have that open and honest discussion as best we can.
Yes, sir.
All right. So again, we thank you guys for being part of the show. Again, I am the Sojourner, and this is, what's your name here? Brooklyn,
Christian.
what?
Christian Whitfield. That name just breaking you down.
No, I just keep looking at it.
But you can follow me on Twitter at Brooklyn G Fellas. You can follow our Twitter handle as well as at Black Code Red Podcast. Follow us on YouTube as well, and share it with your friends and your family. And we're gonna try to do this as often as the Lord allows us to.
There it is. All right, you guys. Thanks again, and have a great night.
Peace.